Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days and welcome to this NXT UK review video. Now, obviously we can't review the whole of NXT UK, but I have just got back from day 2 of the TV tapings in Birmingham, so I can give you a real taste and a real flavour of what NXT UK is going to be like, and I can tell you it is epic. It is so exciting. It's everything great that you want it to be. It's got storylines, it's got great wrestling, it's got fun, chanting, sing-alongs, obviously very vocal UK crowd. But yeah, it's everything positive about NXT, but just on the UK scene. So yes, that's probably the headline, but we will delve into things a little bit further. There are going to be a few spoilers in here. Obviously, can't really avoid that because we are mainly focusing on this TV taping. But still, you know, if you want to step away, you have been warned. But let's get straight into it. Let's talk about storylines because there are some, and that really does make this show. So, big faction war going on, British strong style, against like the Coffee Brothers with Wolfgang. You can tell there's a real storyline arc there. So I think that might be the big first initial story. So we got a taste of that tonight with Tyler Bate against Joe Coffey. Saw Trent Seven come down, saw Pete Dunne make the save as well. So yeah, really cool. We saw backstage that Dave Mastiff, who was in like Vader attire, looked awesome, was getting attacked by T-Bone. So that set up a match. Joseph Connors and Saxton Huxley, who is so over with the crowd, and only because he looks like Jesus. But they like to remind him of that every single second. Like, some great chants, and we will come to the chants in a second. But them two fell out, and that led to a match. Obviously, there was the Women's Championship tournament, so there is a lot going on. I think we saw maybe 3-4 episodes get taped. There's going to be enough to kind of fill them out. So, yeah, very exciting. I'm pleased that there's actual stories, and it's not just pointless match after pointless match after pointless match. It is a lot more in line with NXT. I would say a little bit of a downer is the venue. I was there at the NEC and it felt too big. It felt like this was quite an intimate NXT show, Full Sail, rather than a big arena. But this was in an exhibition hall, like a really big space. Probably they needed some curtains up or something just to kind of close down some of that space. Felt a bit too big, and I don't think that will come across on TV because I think they can, you know, tight frames and light in and do enough in the edit. But to be there, it did feel a bit big. And obviously, I think that's my big concern with NXT UK is it doesn't have a Full Sail. So it's going round the country to different venues. It's going to feel different. So that means every few weeks it'll be in one venue and then another few weeks in another venue. And yeah, I'm not sure about that. I really think they need to get a Full Sail in the UK, a venue that just works. And then they can do all the TV tapings there. And then just do a tour around the UK. I understand it's more convenient for them to go around the country. And then kids and everyone can go along. So I understand the need to tour. But they don't need to tour the TV tapings. And I just think that would help the product. There's a bit of an identity crisis as well. Because with NXT, the talent comes down from the right as you're watching it. With the main roster, the talent comes down from the left. And Triple H said that he did that because he wanted it to feel different. Well, the TV taping tonight, the talent came down from the left, which I thought was a little bit weird because that means that it's more similar to Raw and SmackDown Live and not NXT. Now, that might have just been this TV taping. Maybe they're going to flip it around and change it around. It doesn't make, like, the biggest difference in the world. But I do think NXT benefits from having that familiarity. Like, you know where the stage is, where the ramp is, how it's all, you know, placed, and you can remember some of the matches that have happened there. You know where the commentary team are, and is that going to keep changing every single week? Because honestly, I think that's the only major down point, and I suppose it's not even a major down point, but it needs that identity. So not only is the ramp in a different place to where the NXT ramp is, but also the ring has got black canvas, same as NXT. The ropes are red, which is the same as Raw, and the turnbuckles have got the WWE logo on. Like, I would have thought the ropes would have been like a gold colour. I would have thought that the turnbuckle pads would have had this logo. And it feels like it needs a bit more work, a bit more investment. It needs an identity. Ring aprons were cool. Ring aprons were all NXT UK, as you would expect. Obviously, the staging is pretty much exactly the same as NXT. Like, long stage, big long screen, ramp that goes down. So I'm imagining they're going to tour that around, and that will be the same setup at all of the shows. So it feels very similar to NXT, but it can't feel the same because they keep changing the venue. And also they need to do a little bit more work with the different bits and bobs in the ring, like the ropes and the turnbuckle pads. It's just black barriers around the edging, which I think is the same as NXT. So, yeah, you know, the layout of it is okay. Venue was a little bit off. I heard that people at the back really couldn't see because there was no tiered seating for this show. It was just one flat level. So if you was at the back and people were standing up and, you know, the action was getting hot and whatever, people were like jumping up, cheering people on, all of a sudden you can't see. So, yeah, I heard a few grumblings about that, but you know, these are, I think, teething troubles. These are things that they need to work out. Maybe they won't use the NEC again. Maybe they will find a permanent home. I really do think they need to, because the talent is incredible. Like, they have got something for everyone. They've got like Amir Jordan, who's just so much fun, but he can properly go, you know. But he was coming down, really getting the crowd working. Crowd really into Millie McKenzie, the Bruiser Mate, because of her association with Pete Dunne, and also because she's an awesome wrestler. So yeah, there's people really into her. There's a lot of emerging talent, like Eddie Dennis, a name I wasn't familiar with, but they really did try to highlight him. Like, he had one match, and it was okay, but he was just celebrating for quite a while, and you could tell the cameras were on him, and it felt like they were trying to make a big deal out of him. Obviously, they've made a massive deal out of Rhea Ripley, who has been crowned the first NXT UK Women's Champion. Bit of a shocker, that match, that final. Honestly, I was sitting there thinking, oh, shall I record my reaction to it? You can't record that action, of course, that's their copyright, and I respect all of that. So I was like, shall I record me? And because I know people will enjoy what it's like to be there at that moment. And as I was thinking this, the match ended, like, it literally ended out of nowhere. It'd been going, I think, like 5 minutes or so. I'm told, I didn't see it, but the referee gave the hand signal, and it definitely felt like the match had been ended too soon. It was a moment of shock. There wasn't like loads of chanting or close 2 counts or anything like that. And I know not every match has to be that, but this was the final of the Women's Championship, and you would have thought that it would have been a little bit more back and forth. I definitely, having been there, do not think this was the plan. 100%. I honestly, even Triple H could tell me, nah, this is what we planned all along. I still wouldn't believe him, because I'm told, as I said, the referee gave the hand signal. Toni Storm was having a conversation with Triple H after, holding her back. Like, kind of looked like she was explaining herself. Obviously not her fault. If she's picked up an injury, she's picked up an injury. But it definitely felt off, wrong, not what should have happened. But maybe Rhea Ripley was always going to win, so the end result might not have been anything unplanned. And I think she's an interesting choice. Don't really know too much about her. I know that she works the heel gimmick very well. She seems very competent in the ring. A lot of people seem to like her, or not like her, but kind of appreciate and respect her, because I was talking to a few people before the show. Her name got mentioned a few times. So I am looking forward to seeing where she goes from here. And she is definitely a made woman now, because I can tell you, TV taping ended with her standing shoulder to shoulder with Pete Dunne, both champions standing there showing off their titles. She is right up there now. So there's some mouth-watering matches that we're going to see. As we said, Millie McKenzie, hopefully we'll get an opportunity. I'd love to see Dakota Kai get another shot. I mean, she went out to Rhea Ripley in this tournament in an early stage. So maybe she won't be at the front of the queue, but I'd like to see her get an opportunity again. She's a big enough talent, big enough name. So yeah, you know, there was all of that, and then the chanting was awesome. As we said, Saxton Huxley, the crowd constantly reminding Saxton Huxley that he was Jesus. When Joseph Connors turned on him, there was a big Judas chant, and then people were like trying to get Saxton back to his feet. They were calling for the resurrection. And then when he did get up, they were like, he has risen! We had shoes off, if you hate Zach Gibson. We had stand up, if you hate Zach Gibson, which when everyone had stood up turned into sit down if you hate Zach Gibson. I mean, that literally is a chant that could just keep going, couldn't it? All the time. Jordan Devlin got a lot of stick because of the size of his head. So yeah, look, there's a lot of fun chanting in here, sing songs, all that kind of stuff that you would expect from a UK crowd. Just a few more points. There was a real lack of tag teams. A lot of single stars put together, but no tag teams. Like, we didn't get the Usos or the Authors of Pain or anything like that. It was always such and such and such and such. I don't know if they're kind of playing around with pairings at the moment. We know the next tournament for a championship will be the tag team titles. So maybe we'll see more tag teams then, but there was a lack of tag team wrestling here. I can't say I missed it. It wasn't a problem, but I was just kind of surprised that they weren't establishing a tag team. Maybe it was just this TV taping as well. I mean, honestly, I can't say, but yeah, that was something that just jumped out at me. The whole TV taping was 3 hours. There was no interval. It kind of felt like they did the main events all together, because I can't believe that we're going to get the final of the women's championship tournament and an absolutely epic Pete Dunne, Jordan Devlin United Kingdom Championship match. That came right towards the end as well. I think they're probably going to be the main events for separate episodes. So it'll be interesting to see like how they carve it all up and make shows out of it. But there is a lot of content there for them to kind of play around with. And honestly, I think that was all the big points. As I said, you know, the feedback that I saw and from people I spoke to, just really enjoyed it. I think if you're a fan of wrestling, you're going to love it. There's a lot of great wrestling. There was a couple of really good matches tonight. Nothing that was terrible. Nothing that was an absolute disaster. You know, everything was at a really good standard. And even if you're not into wrestling, honestly, the chanting and the singing from the crowds, there was people definitely around me that you could tell just didn't really know what was going on, didn't really know who the wrestlers were. They were quite reserved. They didn't appear to have gone to other wrestling shows before. And they were like laughing along and kind of by the end of it chanting along as well. So yeah, I really think there's something for everyone. I really think they're taking the best of NXT. You can tell that Triple H has kind of hit the ground running. I think he knows what he's doing with NXT, and it's just, that's going to save so much time with NXT UK. He was there. He came out at the end. You know, helped award that championship to Rhea Ripley. And yeah, it's epic. I mean, there's not really much else I can say. I'm going to be live streaming when it does actually air on the network. Each week, we will cover these episodes. I want to be all over NXT UK. I want to try and go to more of the TV tapings. I would love to speak to some of the fans that are there as well. I really went tonight to get a taste of it. I kind of went tonight to kind of really experience what are they trying to do. And I think I got a real flavour for that. I really think they're trying to create the UK's NXT, which I know that's what it's called, but, you know, there was every chance that it could have been the UK's 205 Live, which, let's be honest, doesn't set the world on fire every single week. It's in the wrong venue. It should be in a smaller venue. Don't think the character development is what it should be. And really, you know, that's on fire. So, yeah, there was a concern it might go that way. But no, the good news is this seems like a real fantastic brand that's going to be a good addition to the WWE family. So, awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, if you found it informative, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you haven't already. Because we are going to be all over NXT UK. This is a brand that I'm really keeping a very close eye on by actually going, and I want to go to more of the TV tapings. I'm going to see if I can get to, I don't know about Plymouth, but I think they're in Liverpool, so I might try and get to that. We'll have to see, but I'm definitely going to be live streaming it, definitely going to be watching it. I'm definitely already enjoying it, so hopefully you will be as well. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.